And number 6 is Berserk. Now, Berserk is a long-running dark fantasy manga series written and illustrated by Kentaro Miura. It's been running since 1989, so it's been running for over 20 years. It's been adapted into an anime. It was even made into 2 video games as well. The Start of the Berserk for Dreamcast and Berserk the Millennium Falcon Mark for PS2. The story starts off with a rage-filling Guts, and Guts is our main character, that's traveling the world in search of something or someone that'll bring him closer to exacting his revenge on a being that scarred his existence. This exposition covers about the first 2 to 3 volumes of the manga, while up to volume 15, which is Golden Age arc, that explains how Guts lived out his life and the tragic events that made him the bloodthirsty demon that he is now. Right from the beginning of the Golden Age arc, you can pretty much tell that things aren't gonna end up well. As the story progresses, Guts changes into a man who realizes the value of his friends and camaraderie. Berserk settings inspired by medieval Europe culture and folklore. By simply following simple folklore guidelines, Miura was able to create his own sense of mythology within Berserk. The story contains elements of both fantasy and horror, as it explores both the best and worst of human nature. Both the manga and the anime are noted for its heavy violence, as in gore, blood, dirt, see the fucking ass demon, Moving along, I think that the story ends up being one of a kind, since I've hardly ever seen a manga with such an alluring and solid background. The mythology references are also one of the things I like most about it, since I'm a big mythology fan. Yeah, mythology geek, whatever. There are a lot of characters in this manga, so I'll just stick with the most relevant. You got Guts, protagonist of the story. He's a tall, muscular man with a huge sword called the Dragon Slayer. With a prosthetic left arm, it conceals a cannon inside. Another thing I like to point out about Guts is that Guts is beyond being a badass. This man is a fucking force of nature that should never be provoked. Have you taken a look at his sword? It's fucking humongous. It makes Cloud's Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII look like a fucking toothpick. Moving on, there's Griffith, the founder and leader of a mercenary army called the Band of the Hawk. He's extraordinarily charismatic and handsome. His tactical skill give him and his army the reputation of invisibility. Griffith is the kind of character that's willing to sacrifice everything to achieve his own goals, believing that he's destined for things greater than the average man. And then you have Casca, the only female soldier in the original Band of the Hawk. She has an ambivalent relationship with both Guts and Griff. The trauma that she goes through at the end of the Golden Age arc costs Casca her sanity. I was amazed to find that some of the characters in Berserk were actually referenced in European history. Guts was inspired by Gotz von Berlichingen, a German knight that was the leader of a band of mercenary soldiers and had a reputation as a Robin Hood figure in 1504. The Emperor Ganishka was actually inspired by the actual Emperor Ganishka that ruled over the actual Kushan Empire in India and South Asia during the 2nd century. Casca is very similar to Joan of Arc. I think that every single aspect in this manga, in terms of artwork, is incredible. From the backgrounds to the anatomy, the facial expression, everything seems immaculately detailed. The effects of shade and lightning are always present and well done. Miura's style is very compelling, since he can make the most beautiful looking things and at the same time turn them into otherworldly, horrifying and disgusting. To finish off, I think that it's been running for over 20 years. That's a lifetime achievement right there. As things are going the way they are, I think the author is gonna kick the bucket before he's even near finishing Berserk. We'll see what happens. Yeah, you know, the artwork is incredible and the characters are very solid. They were even inspired in actual history. So yeah, not much to add here. So Berserk's final score is an 18 out of 20. Alright, halfway through. Now I have a bit of news to tell you. Starting next week, I'll be starting school again. Woohoo! Whoop de frickin' do. Yeah, so the second half of my top 10 will be a bit late, because recording the reviews doesn't take that much time, but editing the audio and the images really takes a lot of time. And I'll try to at least start recording the second half and then try to edit when I have the free time for it. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And stay cool, and Sabi out.